I made a decision that set me back financially. While my peers were accepting full-time job offers, getting promoted, and checking off all the right milestones, I chose something different instead. I turned down a Big Four accounting firm job offer and instead chose to travel the world full-time. Choosing to travel over starting my career delayed my income, it slowed my career, and for a while, I wondered if I had made a huge mistake or completely derailed my future. In this video, I want to share with you the 5 money lessons traveling has taught me, lessons that now shape how I budget, earn, and build towards financial freedom. If you've ever felt torn between doing what's responsible or designing a life that you actually love, one that's meaningful, then this video is for you. The first lesson traveling has taught me is that money isn't the goal, it is a tool. And to illustrate this for you, I want to take you back to my junior year of college where I went on a 3-week study abroad trip. For 3 weeks, I stepped into a completely different rhythm of life. Mornings weren't rushed, meals were slow, conversation felt deeper, and I remember thinking, why did life at home feel so rushed, like we're always running after something? I was ziplining through the jungle. I was trying new foods. I was immersing myself in new cultures. And for the first time ever, I felt more present. And it was the first time I realized that life didn't have to be a loop of school, work, bills, and obligations. When I came home, I realized something big. I didn't want a successful career. I didn't want just that. I wanted a life that was rich in experiences. And if I wanted more of that freedom, I had to get serious about my money, which is what led me to my first money lesson. Money isn't the goal, it's the tool. When money becomes the goal, then it starts controlling our decisions. Treating money as a tool changes everything. Money is a tool for buying back your time. Money is a tool for reducing stress, creating flexibility, and most importantly, supporting the kind of life that you want to live. With this in mind, when I got back from my study abroad trip, I started intentionally working to earn more money and save more so that I can travel again. I also use simple money systems to help me budget and track my spending, not to restrict myself, but to fund the life that I wanted. That was the goal. The goal was to travel more, see more countries, experience more cultures. And I didn't need unlimited amount of money to do it. I needed to be intentional with the money that I did have so that I could achieve my goal. Next time you're struggling with a money decision, I want you to ask yourself, is this helping me fund the life that I want? This type of question and mindset changed everything for me. Money stopped being stressful and money started feeling more empowering. Now, when graduation came and the big job offer came from the Big Four firm, I froze because on paper, it was everything I was supposed to do. It was prestige, stability, a career ladder. But I kept asking myself, am I ready to enter that endless loop of work, bills, and obligations? And the answer was no. I wanted to choose something different. So instead of starting my career, I chose to travel full-time again. For several months, I volunteered as a missionary in Peru, and then afterwards, I backpacked 5 countries in South America. I was finally designing the life I wanted, and I was using money as a tool and smart money habits to fund it, which leads me to the second lesson. The second lesson traveling has taught me is to spend intentionally and to live below my means. Intentional spending isn't about being frugal. It's about being selective. Most people overspend not because they're irresponsible, but because they haven't really defined what actually matters to them. When I was traveling, I cut costs on the things that I didn't care about. So I stayed in hostels, or I volunteered to get free housing instead of staying at luxury hotels, for example. I took overnight buses instead of taking flights. I chose to eat street food or lunch specials, if you know, over sit-down restaurants. And I spent freely on the experiences that actually mattered to me. Things like sand surfing in a sand oasis in Peru, or visiting the glaciers in Patagonia in Argentina, or immersing myself in the culture of Brazil, or experiencing the wonder of a uni salt flats. These are the things that I cared about. And that's what it clicked to me. Budgeting and spending intentionally revealed my priorities. When you start becoming more intentional about your spending, you realize that you stop spending on the things that you don't need, and you quickly learn the experiences or the things that add value to you. And along with spending intentionally, traveling taught me what it means to live below my means so that I can create more margin, and that margin can create more options and more freedom for me. This habit alone can fund meaningful experiences without needing to increase income, because when I was traveling full time, I wasn't earning income. I was living off of my savings. So I really had to be intentional about my spending and live below my means. So a simple action you can take is, next time before you buy something, ask yourself, is this something that I will buy again? Is this something that is adding value to my life? If not, maybe consider pausing and not making the purchase. Lesson number 3 is budgeting is freeing and not restrictive. A lot of people resist budgeting because they think it limits their freedom. In reality, uncertainty is what limits our freedom. A budget, for me, creates clarity, and clarity removes all the stress. And stress-free money decisions is actually freeing. When everything has a place, you stop guessing, you stop feeling guilty, you stop reacting emotionally to purchase decisions. That's what travel forced me to do. It forced me to live within my means. And because, like I mentioned, I couldn't spend freely. I was living off of my savings, and I needed it to last all the countries I planned to travel. So I had a plan, I had a budget, I had to make trade-offs, and those constraints actually gave me freedom because I knew how much I could spend. I knew how much money I had and what I was saying yes to. And those constraints became the foundation of how I still manage my money today. So a simple action you can take with this is to create one guilt-free spending category in your budget so that your budget feels less restrictive and more freeing. And one way I do this in my budget is I have a miscellaneous category, which you may have seen in my previous video, in the financial reset video or how to manage money video, where I talk you through the miscellaneous budget category that I have. And that's a budget line for me. That's a catch-all. It's about $100 to $200 per month. And I am free to spend on anything that might come up that adds value to me during the month. So that's something you can do. Lesson number 4 is to save intentionally and invest consistently. Saving and investing are where short-term stability meets long-term freedom. Saving intentionally gives you protection from surprises. It helps you have confidence during uncertain times. It gives you flexibility to change directions. And most importantly, it helps you fund the life that you want today and in the future. Investing early and often is really important. And if you don't know where to start with investing, I highly recommend you read The Simple Path to Wealth. That is the book that helped me not feel afraid of investing, and that taught me the importance of investing in broad-based index funds that track the whole stock market instead of worrying about which stocks to pick and choose to invest in. So that is a good starting point for you. Being intentional about saving and investing also means automating your goals so that they happen without you relying on your discipline or willpower. If I wasn't intentional about saving when I got back from my study abroad trip, I would have never been able to take off time from starting my career and travel full time. And if I didn't automate my savings, then I would have solely relied on my willpower, and I probably would have failed to save enough money to travel. So a simple action you can take from this lesson is to automate one savings transfer and then make one investing contribution automated. So whether that be in your brokerage account or your Roth IRA account. Lesson number 5 is to increase income to expand your options. Intentional spending creates stability, but increasing your income expands what's possible for you. So you can only cut expenses so far. And in your financial freedom journey, it's a two-way combination, right? You lower your expenses and then you look for ways to increase income so that you're creating more margin for yourself. And income growth is going to unlock for you faster saving, faster investments, greater flexibility, an ability to take time off, take a sabbatical. So it's really important to look for ways in which you can bring in more income. When I got back from traveling, that's when I felt financially behind. And I felt like all my peers were growing in their careers and they were getting promoted. And here I am, I was starting from scratch. I was starting over. I didn't even have a job offer. But traveling taught me how to adapt. It taught me how to feel comfortable with pivoting. So when I got back, I didn't cling to just one path. I adapted. I learned new skills. I learned how to reframe my experiences, and I was able to pivot intentionally to a new career path. In fact, since then, I've successfully pivoted 4 times to increase my income potential. I went from making a starting salary that was $38,000, which by the way was lower than my Big Four accounting firm offer because I was pivoting into a new career at the time and I had to start from scratch. So I went from earning $38,000 and through the 4 pivots that I did to earning 6 figures by building skills, learning to communicate my value, and being comfortable with pivoting. So a simple action you can take with this lesson is to identify one skill area that is in high demand, that aligns with your interests, and that can increase your earning potential, and start learning that today. Choosing to travel over starting my career initially sent me back in the short term, but in the long term, it actually accelerated my life. It taught me the 5 money lessons that I've shared with you today that have become the foundation of my financial freedom journey. And if you apply these 5 money lessons, you'll be making serious progress towards your financial freedom journey as well. If you're choosing a non-traditional path or you're rebuilding after a setback, I want you to remember that you're not behind. You just need clarity over the type of life that you want, and you need systems to help you manage the money that you have so that you can fund the life that you want. In the next video, I'm actually going to break down exactly how I was able to pivot careers and increase my income. And I'm going to walk you through that step by step so that you can do the same. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to check out my previous video where I talk about how I manage my money. I have 2 videos on that. One is a general how to manage money where I show you the simple money management system that I use. And the other video is using my actual day-to-day expenses through the financial reset video. So be sure to check those out. And if this video resonated with you, consider subscribing and join me as we build towards financial freedom, one simple system at a time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.